Good morning. Hey, Ray, Tales from the Age of Men. I just wanted to kind of put together how I go about debugging, figuring out things. It's not going to be a complete guide. I'm kind of already in the middle of something, so I just thought, hey, let me do a recording on how am I going to kind of solve this issue. So therefore, when someone in the community puts forth their better exception window, HTML report or something like that, like I can quickly go through the call stack and kind of guess where the issue is, just based upon what functions or methods or classes are being called. Um, and then, therefore, how do I go to figure out what the issue is? This issue I kind of know because, and I'll show you this in a second. Um, when you are playing around with the map, um, like for example, I know for a fact Gundabad currently. I'm just gonna increase my camera speed because I cannot go that slow. Um, Gundabad, for example, is crashing. So you guys, and I can kind of see why already. So that makes my job easier, but I'm not going to. I'll show you this in a second. So when you put down these icons, and this is what's sort of annoying, and Swan warned me about 15,000 times. But I said yellow anyways and kind of did what I wanted to do, and now I'm paying the price, right? So all of these things sort of matter unless it says icon. I don't really typically care about icons, but all these things kind of matter in the terms of the game. So all these boxes, you guys can see that this red box is like the total siege kind of what's happening box. So like anything that's outside of that box, it just sets forth the siege box, right? So as you can see, half of this is in the ground, and there's important things that need to be here, or else it's gonna fail. Um, for example, like you have the town gate right here. So this is where the players go into the. So you get the set where the players actually go into the gate, if you will, so where they disappear when they actually enter the city. So all this stuff is important. It all has to be set up correctly, or else you're going to get errors in the game. That's what's kind of currently happening now. And looking at it, I can kind of see why. So if I go down here on the right-hand side, I'm just moving to the town. Then I'm moving to the map icon siege, and I can hide it or kind of bring it forth so you guys can see kind of what changes. But right here is the issue. So I'm going to have to actually break this open, and I'm going to hit T to look at this stuff. Oh, now I'm going to have to, sorry, I'm going to have to slow this down now because that's annoying. But anyways, I have to kind of start to bring this stuff up a little bit. Since that kind of worked so well, no, I'm gonna have to do it one by one. I would normally not do this one by one. I would just like take the whole thing and move it up, but I did set these kind of specifically, and I don't really want to play around with it. But if all I'm doing is just kind of, I'm just going like this and letting go. So I'm just clicking on the, I don't even know what, was this the y-axis, the blue? I don't know, up and down, whatever goes up and down. I wasn't good at math in school, so up, and then I'm just releasing it, and then it kind of like is supposed to, it sort of kind of fixes itself. So I'm just going to turn, I hit R right there to rotate. I'm just want to see something. Where's the front and where's the back? I think this is the back. Boom. I don't think that these have to actually be that far back, but I'm not going, I don't care where these are currently positioned. I'm just trying to figure out what's the fix. I can also hit T, and then where my pointer mouse is, I can hit P, and it will teleport there. Once again, but all I'm doing is just making sure that these are above the what's in here. So there's the volume box. I don't know what these volume boxes do, but I'm pretty sure they're important. I don't know where that just went. So come over here. It went there, and you see that's where it wants to go. So I'm just gonna put it right there. I'm just gonna bring it up, put it down, perfect. Just once again, making sure it's above the ground might matter, might not. I had to like kind of go and ask Swan and Black Rose and some other people that build maps. What do these things actually do? Why are they important? Where? I'm just seeing, okay, there's the white, making sure the white is above, the little icon is above ground, because that might matter. Every single time I touch it, it like goes above. Okay. Anyways, putting all these things above the ground just for now, and then we'll play with making it. Once I figure out what the issue is, we'll play with making it right. Another thing I'll do is I'm going to go and crash it myself, and I want to see the debugger um, show me like kind of like step through the method, and I probably have to do it twice because I have to de-optimize the game in order to be able to see the local variables that are kind of running through. That will give me a little bit better of an idea of what's kind of going on. Here's all the siege engines for the attackers. They have like little small boxes, and there it is. Look at that little bad boy. He was out there. You couldn't really click on him. I'm actually kind of curious. I do want to crash it, but I'm actually kind of curious if this is even because that was all the way over there. And we do get an index something out of bounds. Like what is this thing? Why is that thing? Let's move this a little bit up. It will not go up, huh? How about this? No, you don't want to go up? Okay, fine. I'll move the box up. Yeah, how about that? I just want to go over here and make sure that these are above ground. They do look to be above ground. These are the Defender Siege engines. All for every level. So like you have level 1 through level 3. So when you see me being lazy, it's because like I have to like literally set level 1 through level 3, and it's absolutely annoying. And then this is the siege icon. Again, make sure once again it's above ground. That should be it. Everything else should look good. Now, in order to save this, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to save this. I'm going to launch the game. I'm going to have to do it twice. I wonder if I can make it crash early, but all right, so this is Visual Studio. For those that don't know, I use Butterlib's kind of NuGet and project, and I just kind of like clicked buttons and set this up so that it created a new module for me, and then I started throwing things in here in order for it to get to look like this, right? So I use his, and shout out to him for doing that. Now we're probably going to walk that back and kind of customize this so that it does do some things that I don't need it to do. So we're going to kind of like customize this a little bit because the NuGet does a wonderful job. What it really does is, so it's creating a folder on your, actually this one right here. It's creating this folder here on my my repo. It's creating my repo for me for the project, right? And they're in here is where all your files are going to be saved. Well, this is not obviously within the modules folder of Bannerlord. So like the NuGet is how does it get there? It's a lot of just copying from these specific folders, right? So it will go in here, it will copy this stuff, and then it will put it into what it needs to put into. So here's main, you got the bin where all your DLLs are, you got the module where all your module data stuff is, and it just literally just copies the stuff and puts it into your modules folder every time that you build and rebuild your project. So it's really important. I used the NuGet for it, but like now we kind of can go up here and you guys can kind of see it maybe when I go and click on right here. It does this for you. Like once again, just sets up your project. You guys can kind of come through here and figure out, hey, we set the references for where all of our binaries are, where our DLLs are. What does it need to do? How does it need to compile? How does it need to embed stuff? And then, what does it need to do? Like, if things are not there, then create them, copy source files from here, put them over here to the destination. So this is kind of like what is pretty important. And then every time that you kind of come over here and update stuff, it changes a little bit of this kind of automatically, which is kind of cool, right? And then once again, you can set like what your stuff relies upon, so you can't even run the game without these things. So that's kind of pretty important. Anyways, what am I trying to do? I'm going to launch the game, and the reason why I have to do this on such a big screen, I do apologize, is because when I launch the game, it's going to launch in full screen mode. So I would have done this in like 9080 on like on regular monitor, but um, I can't. So um, that's running. I'm gonna get out of there. Um, what's kind of cool about this is that when it's running, you guys, we can once again, this is mostly made for kind of testers and stuff like that, debuggers, is I get to see process, memory, CPU usage. So when people are like, "Oh my God, I'm frozen at the main screen," yeah, I can come in here and make sure that like, yeah, as long as you don't crash, you're fine. You can do some, kind of memory snapshots to see like what process, what method is taking the highest memory usage, so that you can look at that for optimization later. But I mean, we're not using a lot of my memory. I think that's about 4 gigs out of, I don't know how much I have in here, probably like 32 gigs, so it's not that bad. CPU is beautiful, probably because I've loaded this game a bajillion times, so like my shaders are all up to date and stuff like that. But if it wasn't, you would see CPU at 100%. But yeah, so I need to crash this. Yeah, so I need to crash it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the game, and then I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to siege Mount Gundabad, and I know it's going to crash, and then I'm going to have to disable the optimization, and then that will allow me to see the variables that are crashing. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those methods that are in the call stack. So let me go pull up a call stack. Once again, shout out to Hart for doing all these main screens. Dude's a legend for showing what he does is he does all this stuff and sets up the kind of template, and I come in here and maybe just add a shield or whatever, because I know the armory probably best than anyone else because I import it all. So it's kind of hard for other people to kind of find assets or even know if that their assets are even there or where they are. But he did such an amazing job on these. It just really brings it to life. So shout out to him and the team for thinking about that. But let's enter. While I'm doing that, I'm just going to show you, if you are a tester or even if you're just interested in these things, one of the things that you have to do is, I'm just trying to find one. So a lot of people like to just send you, I'm just going to bring down my Discord, a lot of people like to send you this. Not helpful, really. I mean, this is kind of helpful. You may be able to gather like what's happening. I kind of know just from seeing this 1,000 times. But what really we want is the call stacks, because I need to know like where in the call stack is the object not reference. Then I can go and look up this object. I can go and do trace points if I really need to, and stuff like that, breakpoints, etc., etc. I'm just trying to find one. There should be. Someone's doing something. Come on, where is it? There we go. So I really need these HTMLs, and the reason why is maybe this is also um, the specific error that I'm looking at. Yeah, so index was outside of bounds of the array, right? So is this yeah, so siege engine. So this is what I'm trying to fix right now. So the one thing I'm going to go do is I'm going to actually go open up DN Spy at the same time that I'm doing this, and I'm going to go and find this. Then I'm going to give it to Gronk, and I'm going to tell it to kind of explain it to me, just so that I can understand what is it trying to do. So I can then, and look, it's the siege engine. So maybe that it was that siege engine that was in the ground. That's why it was outside the array, because it was in the ground or whatever. And I moved it, and maybe that will fix it. We'll see though. But curious. But like when I see those things, like the siege engine machine type, blah blah blah. Bombardment. There's also kind of like animations that happen. You guys seen them before when you're throwing fucking the rocks. Because it's in the ground, it probably doesn't know how to do that. So it kind of makes sense to me as you kind of think about it. And then when you see that like the tick settlement visual, it kind of once again goes add, and then as I read down more, it's ticks. I'm kind of most likely guessing it. I did fix this. I'm hoping. Really, I'm just praying that I fix this, and I think it's once again that's the culprit. But I do want to show you kind of how I do this, so that you guys can quickly see sort of what I do. But it's a lot of you have to know. This is kind of the thing, is you kind of have to know. And once again, I'm just trying to get into the game. A lot of the processes within Bannerlord, so like when you create the overhaul mod, this is why, like, sometimes I do offend a bit of people because I'm like, no, I want to take over this. Like, I want to take over the map. Like, I get, blah blah, but I want to do it because I then know, okay, what I showed you in that map. Okay, I have to put these here. I have to do this. Okay, this is sunk into the ground. This is how you do an icon. Because then when I'm debugging, I know exactly what I need to do. I'm pretty good at debugging, like XMLs and stuff like that. But like when I'm creating the terrain, like what are those things? How do I do this path? Okay, oh, there's a nav mesh issue. Like you just don't know those things when you're debugging unless you've done it before and you're like, oh, I can instantly know what happened. Another thing that helps is because I'm the only one that's touching the map right now, I know specifically kind of like, okay, I messed with Mount Gundabad last, so like it's if it's crashing and it didn't crash before, obviously like 1 + 1 = 2, right? So like that's another kind of beautiful thing about you doing a lot of this work. So yeah, so if you are a tester, one of the things that I'm going to have you do is I have objectives, but like we're going to just basically go through here and siege all of these things because all we did was kind of plop them down and do the XMLs, but I never really tested it to make sure that when we did plop them down, it has everything it needs. One of the best things to do is to take something that you know that works. I think it's this one I know that works, and I'll take that and I'll copy it and then I'll paste it down. The problem with these native assets is that they hold so many icons in here. Like if you see in here, all of these little things are little icons that you have to kind of delete out. Gets a little annoying when you have custom icons. So, but what you do want to do, and this is how you're gonna do it, is like if I know MT specifically works, so I'll probably, and it's a custom one that like Swan did himself. So, which is once again just adding. I'll show this a little bit later, but it's just literally adding meta meshes, but you have to do it in a specific way. You can't just willy-nilly it. But anyways, long story short is take what works that you know works, duplicate it, and then like kind of move it to where you want it to work. It's not that difficult, but it does get difficult when you have like kind of like this area right here. Like I can't put a siege right here. Like if I put a native icon here, it would have a siege like right here in the water. I had to like move it back here, so this might crash, right? And then another thing that kind of sucks is that when I think what's happening is when the AI is sieging things, it also will encounter that same error because it's probably just going through the same kind of motions. Just outside of your rendering distance, so it also will crash. So like the elves like to come over here and butt fuck Gundabad in the beginning of the game, and so like they they kind of get. I'm just sorry. I see that. I don't know if you guys see it over here. Like you see this little. I always get worried like that my nav mesh is wrong. So sorry, I was just clicking on that. Anyways, yeah. So they kind of come over here and butt fuck them in the early game, so it might crash your game no matter where you are. Just because it's not working. So as you can see, I told you where that town icon was, and boom, right? So whenever I click on this, that's where I'm going to come in and out, and that's where the caravans are. There's other things that I think are important in those kind of icons. But let's get to my cheats. I'm just going to add, I forget what it was. I'm just setting it up so that I can crash. First, let me go get some gold to myself. I think this should be enough. Yeah, 1 million, that's fine. Then I want to add skills because I need I just need enough people to siege this thing without someone messing with me. So I'm going to do, is there skills? Let's see. There we go. That should be enough. Anything else I need? Yes, I need to go into the party menu. Party menu. It's going to take a little bit to load. Then I'm going to move this real quick. I'm going to have to fix this. Okay, so it does load. Okay, I'm going to have to... Interesting that it changed. I wonder what I did to change this. Anyways, I'll fix that in a sec. I'm going to go here, the tier. I'm going to go above the highest tiers. I'm just going to... How many... Actually, I cannot do that. Let me first go here. Hit OK. And then go to my party, see if it updated. Do I have, what I'm looking for is my amount. No, that's not enough. Okay, hold on. I'm going to have to set this up correct. I clicked on the wrong thing. Go to my party screen, please. I'm going to have to go to leadership. Leadership is what increases your, I'm trying to get to this one right here, which gives you +1 party size for each leadership point, which brings me to my next point is like when I was looking at Mordor and stuff like that, I think that I'm just going to increase their leadership so that they get this perk, so that they get huger parties. But once again, that's all party size. I'm just looking for party size. That's all I'm looking for. Plus party size. Party size. One day maybe we'll look at into changing this stuff. Make it a little bit harder of a decision. Okay, boom. Hit OK. Make sure that I just want to unpause it so it can update itself. Leave. Boom. Now I should have, I don't know, probably like 500. Nope. Okay, fine. Tier. This is going to fill up quickly because I just do want to let people know that at least Rivendell and the Mordor Orc, yeah, you see how, yeah, I'm going to have to get rid of these guys because they're so expensive. These guys. Oh, anything that says Rivendell really, because they're like 3 points. They're 3 troops for they can leave. I don't. Oh, and then I need food. Okay, food. Just once again showing you how I kind of debug things. Let's just grab that. Thank you. Cool. Have food. Now what I'm going to do is boop. Just teleport myself. I'm going to go to war. Hand over your go to die. Soviet attack. Send troops. Boom. Done. I'm now at war with I don't care. Don't care. Okay. Now I'm going to save so that the next time I go into the game, I don't have to set all this up. And then like I'll go from here. I'll go and siege every single thing else, right? And I'm just going to teleport myself because I don't got time to sit here and sort of annoying thing that happens. Besiege town. Well, that's weird. It does show up. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Shut up. Shut up. Let's see what happens. I should have set my siege. I should have. I'll do that right now. Make sure that all those kind of things work. Let's see. I'm not crashing though. So how are you guys crashing? Oh, those they don't. Oh, okay. Hold on. Yeah. Are there walls? There we go. I don't see their stuff. Okay, here we go. Boom, it crashed. What did that crash? You see how all these, it says, maybe you can't see, maybe you can. I'll try to, index was outside of boom, perfect. And now it's optimized so I can't see those. What I'm going to do is I'm going to disable managed optimizations and restart debugging. Hit OK. I'm glad that this is working first time. I don't have to like do cuts and other stuff. So I just am going to go back into that save game, do it again, and get the crash, and then I'm going to figure out like what variables are crashing so I can go see what it is that I need to do. Hopefully it's as easy as it might be. The defender stuff is a little outside, but like the animation sort of kind of worked. Just very interesting. Maybe it's, don't know what it is, but it has to do with the siege engine. So wait for this to load. While I'm doing that, I'll open up DN Spy. You guys can download this on your own. What I do with DN Spy is I may not even have the correct DLL loaded in. So what I will do is, hello DN Spy, thank you. So I loaded in a lot of them. So all I do is I just go here, I open them up. So I will open from the module. So you go here, the modules, and you come here to, there's various different ones that you may have to go to. Like if it says sandbox, obviously go to the sandbox one, but native, bin, client, and then you just load on all these DLLs. Some of them will work, some of them will not work, just for reasons I don't want to think about right now. But once again, just coming in here and loading in all of these. The reason why is that's what you have to look at, right? So I've loaded in all of these. This is another thing that, if you're looking at another person's kind of code, you do the same thing. You load in their DLLs, figure out what it's doing. But what I also do is I use a search feature down here to kind of figure out that. I'm just going to go into this thing again to figure out that where that method or class or function or variable kind of exists, and then you kind of just like read through it and figure out like what's happening, or throw it into AI and have it tell you what's happening while you figure out other things. But if you are a tester, this is what I'm going to have you start to do. Is we're going to focus on our objectives are going to focus on sieging everything and figuring out what works and what doesn't work, so that I can then go back to the map and figure out what the issue is. Or one of the things I can do is I can delete this icon, go get one that I know that works, and then like just delete the place it down, and then kind of just delete what I need to delete, and then keep everything else the same for reasons. Just once again, just seeing if there's anything that's crazy looking. What's this? That's a town. Okay. Anyways, let's go back to. Okay, it's going to take a little bit longer to save my game. Oh, there it is. Okay, so now I'm just going to go besiege. Okay, I'm just going to get closer. Come on. It will not let me get closer. Okay, I'm going. Thank you. Now I'm going to save it because I don't like to have to run that every single time. Save, besiege, then it's going to crash. Come on. Boom. Boom. Sweet. People are deserting. That's what I like to see. Siege camp is built. Maybe I will, while we're here, thank you. Non-rage siege engines, range. Get out of here. Range. That. Sure. Yep. I'm just making sure I can build as fast as possible. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Then I want to continue. Is it building? I can't see. It is building. And hopefully it crashes soon, right? Because you see all those? Yeah, boom. Okay, let's see what's happening. So index was outside. So it doesn't like a party visual. An engine. Which engine? Obviously, so I know it's, Mount Gundabad. So once again, you can just see the variables here. A trebuchet, attacker, wall. Oh, the walls. Okay. Okay, I see. Okay, so what does that mean? In here, in the actual map icon that is not the siege icon, there are walls. And these only have level 1 walls. Nope, they're here. They're level 2 and level 3. Okay, so I'm just gonna go and look at the level 3 walls because I know that this is a level 3. I'm pretty sure this is a level 3 settlement, which also matters, right? So let me just quickly go and show you guys that. Well, I'll just explain it here, but each settlement has three different levels: level one, level two, level three. You have to set level one, level two, level three up. And there's a lot like you have to set the icons up for level one, level two, level three. You got to set the all of the stuff basically up for level one, level two, level three. What most people do is they set like one level, so they'll like I like to set level three, and then I will then work my way backwards. But it's just changing the visual stuff, and then like clicking the buttons down here for what it is. What this just told me was that I'm just kind of like looking at it that these walls that I put are not working correctly. So it's trying to siege the wall, and I think that's what it's telling me. Anyways, let's see. Like trebuchet attacker target type wall, and something's wrong. It might be. I'm gonna have to play around with the walls, right? So when I'm attacking something normally, and this is kind of like maybe I do need to put a wall there to see if it kind of works, but I kind of removed the icons for the wall because it just didn't make sense. But maybe in doing so, I removed those green. Remember, you guys see those green bars? Maybe I removed those things. So when I open this thing up, that's level. I need to look at level 3. Sorry. When I open these things up, there are map icons. So I can come in here and I can add a. I'm just going to add a meta mesh. I'm just going to look for a wall real quick. Actually, I'm just going to look for a known wall that. Wall? Can I get a wall, please? I really don't want to look. Mirkwood icon. No, icon Mirkwood. I'm just trying to see. Wow. Okay. You just really just don't like me. Mirkwood. Let's go. I don't. Okay. Here we go. Right. So I got. Wall broken. I'm just gonna put the wall 3 there. Hit OK. I'm gonna show it. Visible. Maybe. Is this visible? Base. So now you guys can see the wall. Hello. It's not actually where I wanted it to be. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I want to. There's certain things that you kind of have to set up and make sure that they are. See, like there's boxes and icons, and you gotta make sure that they kind of all make sense. Why is that so disgusting? I don't know why it looks like that, but anyways, um, banner positions that matters. You know, just so much little small stuff. Like at the end of the day, since this isn't working, what I probably will do is I'll delete it and then um, do it again. So because like I maybe I'll maybe I'll keep tinkering with it just because I want to see like what it was so that I know in the in the future what it is. And see that like this is so hard because like when you look on the front it looks good, but like when you look at it from the side or the back it's like not even close to the position that you want it to be. So weird. um Things so like when people are like you see the amount of annoyance I have to deal with. Like you see how far back that is. Like it looks good here, like looks fine to me anyways. Maybe you guys can see something different, but like it looks fine to me here. Then you go back and it's like fucking 60 meters off. um okay, but I think now I get it. So you can basically see like what's happening, and maybe you need to take some time. I'm gonna go to probably this, right? So let me go to. Give it to me. Come on, copy it. I don't want to go to Copilot because copy value. All right, so I'll go to my boy Gronk, right? I have my Gronk set up a specific kind of way already. Like you have to give it, like I have to continuously slap it with instructions sometimes. But one of the things I'll do here is when it loads. As you can see, I use Gronk quite a bit for all of my things. Oh, okay. uh, the So we're getting this error when we're CG gun to bed, and the more context you add, the better it's going to be able to help you. It seems to do with the wall and a visual not being set. And then just please troubleshoot, right? So while I'm just once again setting that up, and then I'm going to go move over here to and spy, and I want to see, I copied this value, make sure I delete this so that it doesn't yell at me, and find this for me. I might have to go back. No, it shouldn't. I might have to find the actual, did it find anything? No, let's go siege. No, okay, so let me go find the actual call stack then. Okay, so show call stack, let me grab this, let me grab that. I was hoping to be a little bit more specific than having to look through this whole thing. Where are you? There you are. Okay, so let me just delete this nonsense. Boop. It should be this, but that's fine. Let's see what it is. It is the... Oh, it might not have it in here. So let's just make sure I have it in here first. So this is sandbox, view, party, map, visual, sandbox, view. DLL. Okay, so I'm going to come in here. I'm going to open up. I'm going to go to sandbox. I'm going to go to that bin. Is it in here? Sandbox view. Open it up. Make sure it's here. It is there now. Let's then now look at this. I just have to get rid of some of this extra nonsense. Calculate data and durations for siege machines. Let's go that one. All right, and then boom, it pops up, right? So then I can open up this. It's going to decompile. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to control A, boop, boop, boop. Here is the code from Tau World. Boom, pop that in there, and then I'm going to give it the this. I'm going to copy details. So once again, it's going to look at the code and just kind of lead me to like what's going on. It's going to provide some like coding. Here is the error. It's going to give me some like, hey, this is how to debug it. I kind of don't need this right now. Sometimes I'll probably do that. You know, it'll probably give me like a harmony fix or like, oh, if you want to see the variables or like what specifically or boom, boom, boom. So it's going to think, right? I think I know what's happening is when you're sieging something, the wall, for example, the green bar goes to yellow, then to red, and then to blank, right? And that's how you know the walls are done. And then boom, it's gonna pop out like, okay, you know what's happening. I'm actually kind of curious, just because I'm just a deeply curious kind of guy about how this works. So I'll read through this and kind of figure out what's going on. Yeah, so it's gonna basically tell me to fix. Oh, er, yeah. So two things. One, right? It's going to provide me code. Hey, I don't need it I don't want to patch this out. I want to fix the issue. So one of the things it says is that basically like kind of like hey, there might be a duplicate map defense engine. So what that means is like um, when you're setting these things up, they have to have a specific like if it's for level 3, it should only be level 3, so it only should be showing level 3. We might have a duplicate one. It doesn't look like that's the issue because it all 1, 2, or 3. One of the walls might not be 1, 2, or 3. Let's see. That one is one. Anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this, and then I'm going to take one that I know that works, and then I'm going to put that in here, and I'm going to have to do it again, like kind of like set this up again, which shouldn't take too long. A good 15 minutes. But like if you look at this, like to give you kind of a understanding is like look at how many of those we have to kind of do for every single town and castle. Like you kind of have to go set all that stuff up. So I'll just go take one that I know that works. It's usually one in like Gundor. I'll take that Swan already tested. It already is good. I'll duplicate it, bring it over here, and start working on that. So once again, just wanted to do. I thought it was going to be quick, but now we're at 40 minutes. Good lord! I wanted to do a quick like here's how I kind of debug for my team so that they know like this is kind of how I do it. You may find a better way to do it. You may understand this a lot better than I do, so that you guys can like quickly like oh no you don't have to go there. You can like quickly find what's going on. Sometimes you won't get a lot of information. Like I know that this is a wall. Um, and you may not find it in the first one. You might have to keep going down within these and try to figure out okay what specifically. The further you go down, um, the more I guess specific it gets. But yeah. So, anyways, with that being said, I might okay level 3. Yeah. So it's level 3. So I keep playing around with that till I figure out like, okay, what is going wrong. And this is also really good for XML kind of errors. Like if you're like have it will tell you kind of like, oh, this XML. Not only that, but another thing that you should always look at is every time that you launch the game. So I'm going to close my Bannerlord. Um, actually, I have to close my debugger. I'm going to stop it. Thank you. This is, very informative. What I'm going to do is I'm going to every time that I stop the game, one of the things I do, and kind of what everyone should do is I go in here to my C drive. I go in the program data. I open up Mountain Blade Bannerlord. I'll go open up logs, and I go for the RGL log. Open this up. This also tells you a lot of your XML errors. Just looking through how it loads the game. I look for errors, make sure that there's nothing here. There isn't. There's 8 of them. I'm gonna have to go look at that. And then okay, now I know that these null objects, I can go and find them, and then I can kind of figure out like okay, what was it loading at the time that like kind of these nulls were thrown, so I can go kind of figure out. I know exactly where this one is. Another thing I can do is just kind of search my stuff up here, my solution for this stuff. But I can go get rid of these. I mean, they're not crashing the game as you can see, but like it is cool to, kind of get rid of that stuff. But like you just come through here and figuring out what is going on. Interesting. So that's interesting because I haven't seen this before. I might have to delete my cache. So, anyways, sorry, I will get distracted quite easily and like, huh, that's interesting. But you can definitely get kind of come in here and you can see like, okay, what's going on? Okay. What's going on with your game and where the kind of the issues are. Another thing that you can do is if you are in our game, playing our game is in your modules folder in the main LOTRAOM. You can go to, I think it's bin. Where do we put your log? Where do we put the logs? Maybe we took them out. we put logs somewhere. I have to go find them. Maybe it's all the way back out at Mountain Blade. Logs, yeah. So here's where your kind of debug logs are. Let's see, is this done by that? Another thing that you can open up is you can see kind of like what's happening. We not only have our own debugger, but we also throw in Harmony here. So that we can see that, to make sure, like, as you can see right here, like, here's all of the racial bonuses that are going into the game. So if you want to look at, oh, what are the racial bonuses that are kind of, here's all, like, I think there's a lot of them, 100 of them, 116 rules actually. But you can see kind of also here what's going on, and then, oh, that's pretty cool. It kind of breaks it down by kind of what racial bonuses there are. Another thing that we populated, because this may change and it's sort of annoying, but obviously human always starts with the integer of 0. Then, like, what happens after that, we capture that and save it, so that, because we want to make sure that those racial bonuses get applied to the right racial integer. So you don't want, like, dwarfs to be getting, hill troll or cave troll or elf bonuses. So we have to capture this every single time, because it does change. It's not static. Well, humans always static, but like everything else kind of is depending on, I think it depends on how it loads from the monsters, but I don't know. I haven't looked at too far. It's probably how it loads from the monster XML, but I'm not going to go too much into it. We just decided to grab it dynamically every single time. Here you can see the troop weights for anyone that's kind of interested in that. And here we go. Look at this. What is this? What? Huh? Now I can go in here and I can kind of look into all of this stuff, right? So from here on out, boom. Interesting. So that's this is interesting. Interesting. Okay. Anyways, that we're 46 minutes in. I didn't want to take up too much of your time, but there are a couple places that you can look to kind of like figure out like what the heck's going on. That's how I do it. It's really important to have the projects from GitHub in. I will teach most of you guys how to incorporate into your stuff to make sure that it's launching correctly and that you guys have the correct builds, so that you guys can look at this stuff. One of the biggest things that can be a help is like kind of XMLs. We're gonna have to like kind of focus on, you guys testers are gonna be focusing on figuring out the errors and stuff like that, and then coders and XML people are going to be, kind of banging out some XMLs for all, the whole mod, and then additionally slash debugging some things. And this is how I typically debug. So I'll get this fixed, or I think I'll get it fixed by deleting it fully and then taking something that does work and putting it into the game. I'd rather just do that and because I know it works, than kind of constantly kind of figure out like what's the issue here, because that could take a lot longer than just literally just deleting this and then kind of replacing it with the stuff that I need to replace it with. So, anyways, that's Haterade. Tales from the Age of Men. How do I debug? Thank you for your time. God bless.